Yeah, that's fascinating. And it sounds like it probably has an impact on maybe retention or upsell strategy by having all this, or like what was the outcome of being able to map all this? Like what intelligence were you able to kind of derive from it that you didn't have previously?
Yeah. So, like any company right now, it's hard out there.
Mm.
Everybody's cutting budget. Everybody has to downsize. Like, even if they're super happy, it's still, hey, my CFO needs us to come down 10% or whatever it is. So, churn is real, I think, for any company right now. I think if you speak to anybody in customer success outside of 6 Sense, within 6 Sense, it's hard out there. And we took an approach for how we're going to prevent churn and how we're also going to prevent churn, but also prevent red accounts and get happy customers, right? So we actually started from the back. We started, from, I guess, the end, I would say.
Hmm.
And we looked at customers that were churning or, that were not happy. And we have churn reason codes and churn categories. And from there, we realized we had to kind of shake things up because CSM would say, oh, they churned because of this competitor. And it's like, well, did they really churn because of that competitor, or were they not happy? And if so, why were they not happy? What was their customer sentiment? And we realized it all goes back to customer value, if they're seeing value. And then a step back from that is they're not going to see value if they're not using the product and adopting. And it's all about adoption. And that adoption and usage phase happens in that messy middle. Like, you can't hit up a customer towards the end when it's renewal time, like, hey, let's talk about renewal, and not have chatted with them 9 months ago about, hey, like, we noticed there's a drop in usage. Why is that? Let's get you some more enablement, or let's get your sales team trained. So that's kind of how we took a step back and focusing, to your point, on those leading indicators so that when we get to renewal time, it's not so hard. It's, of course, you're going to renew. You're using us and you're seeing value. Like, sign on the dotted line. I mean, it's not that easy. I wish it was. My team's probably like, that's not how it works. But it makes it easier than approaching the renewal at the end and saying, oh, let me now try to talk to you about why you should be using us. So that messy middle is really, in my opinion, where the customer knows and identifies if they are going to continue the partnership, and, to your point on upsell, if they want to expand the partnership, if there's ways to consolidate other tech within 6Sense. That's when they're thinking about it. Like, they're not thinking about it, I think, at the end of the journey.